Bag alert, major bag alert. Bag alert, major berg. All right, John, it's very easy. Here's how people get into the mailbag. You go to iTunes, you leave us a review. 5 stars, we appreciate it. In that review, ask us a question. Any question at all will do. We always love when you throw in your favorite bar as well. Something we started last year, just, a little support for your favorite spots. And it's a good way to tell people about wherever you're from. So we love that.
Yes, we do. Also, really quick, No Kid Hungry, as you can see if you're watching this on the YouTube. If you're listening, you guys know the drill. NoKidHungry.org/ham, going for $25,000. As of recording this, we're almost at 22, so we just need to get to 3. No big deal. We will raise $25,000, help people eat. That's what we're trying to do, influence lives, make the holidays better for people that don't have it as well as I'm sure many of us listening and that are talking. So let's do that. NoKidHungry.org/ham.
Absolutely. The link should be in the description, but as John said, it's a very easy web address to get to. NoKidHungry.org/ham. Here we go, John. First up. Love the pod. These guys need more Raider content, though, just saying. I have to skip about an hour and a half just to get to anything non-Niners, but that's fine with me. Random question. Anyone else find it weird that when high school kids go on visits and have the full photo shoot in full uniform with multiple schools? I don't know if it's because I'm older, but I wouldn't wear a uniform for a team I'm not on or plan on committing to. John, your thoughts?
I saw that some states had that outlawed. Did you know that? Like there are different independent rules per state on the NIL stuff. And
because you don't want to put on somebody else's pants? It's dirty?
Yeah, no, more for like to profit off of. I just think young kids, if I was a 17-year-old kid, even if I wasn't going to go to LSU and I was at LSU for a visit, I'd be like, yeah, fuck, I'll put on your jersey. I think it's pretty cool. Don't you?
I think it's awesome, and it's so much of it's about your social feed, right? And it's not just kids. I mean, go watch Steph Curry break Ray Allen's record. Did you see what's going on behind him? Ray Allen was taking a photo of him. So it's not just the kids. I will say, I think the one, if I could go full get off my lawn and just not worry about how this comment would be perceived, it's not that bad. But I do think it crosses a line when it's like, okay, now you got our uniform on. Cool. Hold the national championship trophy. Like, you didn't earn that one. I don't think you should be able to do that for your recruiting trip. But, hey, if it's going to get me the 5-star and I'm the coach and I'm like, yeah, you didn't earn it, but let him hold it. What the hell? Who cares?
Didn't Pat Riley pour out all the rings and tell LeBron to put one on when he was recruiting him?
It's a great story. Next up from Brian. Love the show. Been following you guys for over 3 years. What's your predictions right now? We know comeback of the player will be Dak. Bosa deserves some love. And defensive rookie of the year is Micah Parsons. But there are some close ones. MVP, Brady, Rodgers, Kyler, Depoy, Garrett or Watt, TJ, O'Roy, Mac or Chase, Coty, Bill, that's coach of the year, Bill or Cliff. Curious you guys' shots. Unfortunately, I don't have a favorite bar. I'm 19. Good for you, Brian. Just wait.
Yes,
you don't need to be drinking shitty vodka out of a Crystal Geyser bottle.
No, when you can't afford it, get Tito's. I'll go Rodgers, Myles Garrett, Mac. I think, if Cliff wins the division, I think he's going to end up getting it.
I'll go Belichick. I think he should win it almost every year. This is a year that it's not a what do you call it?
I think Cliff said that.
Well, of course, Cliff would say that. It's not a career achievement, but I mean, come on. I think Herbert's going to be in the conversation. I'm going to go MVP.
For coach of the year, Herbert?
No, sorry, for MVP. For MVP, I'm going to go Rodgers as well. You know what? I'm going to go Brady on MVP. Brady. Rodgers has like no interceptions, but I'm going to go Brady. Defensive player of the year, Myles Garrett. Feels like a good pick. I don't think Mac Jones will win rookie of the year. I could see Micah Parsons winning. Oh, I guess that's offensive rookie of the year, isn't it? I don't know. I feel like we're missing somebody. Who else could be the offensive rookie of the year? Is there a running back?
Running back? No, not.
Najee's not having that year.
No, it was his O-line sucks. Waddle's going to have a bunch of stats, but I don't think people are going to vote for him.
Is Chase going to have the numbers? Maybe it is Mac Jones.
Yeah, I just think Mac Jones, bro. He's going to be the starting quarterback on a team that wins the division.
Mac Jones, good answer. Next up, this is from Markel Goldsby.
Jesus.
Markel says, I had to zoom him out here. This thing's big. Kel Goldsby. Real loyalist. Oregon State and Raiders diehard. Even though y'all bag on my Raiders, y'all show a lot of respect to my Beavs. Best bar in Portland, Oregon. I don't do bars. Is Tom's Pizza. Good for pizza and a lot of TVs. Two solid questions. I agree with Guy. My Raiders need someone stable. I like Peterson, Harbaugh. Rich if he makes the playoffs. What about Bill Cowher or Charles Woodson? Any former Raider players interested in the job? Jason Witten? Second question. What do you guys think of Jonathan Smith's extension? Dope having him on. I feel like the extension went unnoticed because he was mentioned for the SC job too. Keeping him in Corvallis is big. He's bringing us back. Go Beavs. Build the dam. Our damn state. Follow my streaming page. I mean, he took the time to put it on there, so what the hell? But I have to remove some of our branding here to see it. Follow my streaming page. Kel Quattro, avid Madden streamer. We'll bet 1,000 right now. Thank you all for the show. Keep going. Does that mean someone can come play him for $1,000 right now? Markel Goldsby?
Is there just a place called streaming that you just stream? What is? I'm not even trying to make fun of the guy. Like, is it Twitch?
It's got to be Twitch, right? I assume it's Twitch.
Call of Duty. Can I just find you on Madden 2021? Like we're kind of sound like grandpas right now. I just, as people that stream for a living, I don't know where you stream. YouTube, Twitter. Keep up streaming.
Former Raider, who do you like? Madden?
Charles Woodson. If you tell me that January 10th it's announced Charles Woodson is the new head coach of the Raiders, I'd fucking be in. I would pay right now $500 for that to happen. That would be cool.
Would you match your Tito's donation? 5,000?
I would think about it, yeah. If we could get him like once a month. Because he is a pretty cool cat.
Will he coach in an ascot? That question has to be asked.
I think he would like Phillip Rivers on the road travel.
I've been liking him on TV, honestly. He's been
he's good.
Fox, Michigan. I'm sure we'll see him again. Former Raider head coach.
Were you watching Phillip Rivers with the Mannings?
I saw some of it, more so you told me about it afterwards.
Eli made fun of him for the bolo tie.
Yeah.
And he said the bolo tie wasn't really his idea. That when Mike McCoy got the job, he said before we could wear whatever we wanted, team sweats, my whole career. Mike McCoy was kind of a stiff, mandated you wear suit, sport coat, and a tie. And I think it might have been Billy Volek, whoever his backup quarterback was like, Phillip, to fuck with him, go bolo tie. So Rivers like, I just did it one time, and it went so viral and everyone loved it that he kept with it. He's like, my wife hated it, but it was pretty genius. I'm like, that's a good story.
Great. So great. You got to also keep it up so that the coach doesn't know you're fucking with him, or maybe he did know that he was messing with him. Jonathan,
but you have a tie, even if it's a bolo tie.
So great. So easy to put on and off. Jonathan Smith extension. Yeah, it's fantastic. It did probably go unnoticed. I don't think it would have gone as under the radar if they'd finished the year a little bit stronger, but they've got a chance to close it out strong. I think he's a really good coach. I think the question with Oregon State, we did have Jonathan Smith on the show for people wondering, who's going to be their quarterback next year? They got to go to the portal, I think.
Slovis.
I think Slovis is at the top of their list. And I think Slovis to Oregon State would be great. Now, I also think Cal's going to need a quarterback. Garbers went pro. So I think Slovis would, Slovis, or they're going to be in the transfer market, in the portal market. But I would love for Keaton Slovis to end up at Oregon State.
Don't you think that Slovis would be like an NFL free agent that's good? Like he's going to have 5 or 6 options?
Absolutely. Because he was legitimately good. I think the hype got a little big, like talking about him like he was a top 5 pick, but he's a legitimately good player. I think he'd benefit. I think it'd be great I would love from the Pac-12 perspective. Like, let's keep a guy that everyone knows. He's kind of a star, right? People know who he is.
How big of an upgrade would that be for the Beavers, right? He's a much better player than they've had.
It'd be an upgrade for 95% of teams in college football. Maybe more, actually.
You see UCLA just signed a kid.
Milton from UCF.
Yeah.
Kimaru says, it's frequently stated that Davis family is relatively broke compared to other players. How is that possible in the NFL? I would imagine being an owner is a very profitable business given the large TV deals and that he's been an owner for quite some time. How can he possibly be cash poor? Thanks in advance. Or in this case, do you mean cash advance?
Well, until he got to Vegas, they never made any money on the stadium. O.co, it had no naming rights. They didn't own anything.
Sweets.
They were generating zero revenue.
The advertising dollars were not as big as they could be given how little value you got.
I think we've been told that they were the lowest, them and the Bengals, in the league. And then your expenses when you run an NFL team, I don't know if you've noticed, are pretty high, right? I mean, you have a $200 million payroll. It's not like the Raiders don't operate like the A's. I mean, they have a payroll like any other NFL team. Your coaches aren't cheap. You're just your travel. I mean, your expenses are high. So you have to generate. Part of why Jerry and Kraft have so much money. Do you understand how much money they generate? The Raiders, once they moved back to Oakland up until 2018, generated no money. And then when they moved, their moving costs were pretty high, right? They had to give money to fucking Vegas, and they overpaid the taxes.
You're not just talking about the Mayflower truck. You're talking about the moving fees that you pay to the league because they can just
you pay to the league, you paid to Vegas. You remember you overpaid Oakland on the taxes. Like,
don't own all your profits.
What do you mean?
Right. Well, I mean, like you don't own your stadium, so all of it. There was a lot of people that helped you make these moves, and everyone's gonna want a hand in that pot. On the most basic level, they don't have. Mark Davis does not have other businesses. Even if you only own a football team, the football team is more than just the football team. If you are Gillette, right? They have at Gillette where the Patriots are, they've got all these other restaurants or whatever built into that whole complex. Jerry's got who God only knows what else connected to the Cowboys branded restaurants, I'm sure.
Well, he has the company that does the catering for all the stadiums, right? What's that thing called that Al Guido works for?
That
did the Raiders and Levi's.
Not elites, but it's not just catering. I think they handle like sweet, high end, the ticketing and all the kind of stuff. Legends.
I wanted to call them.
Is it Legends?
Yeah, I almost said walk-ons, but that's the restaurant in like the South.
Is it Legends? Is that what it was?
It's Legends. Yeah.
That doesn't sound right.
I think Al Guido came from Legends. Al Guido Legends.
Jerry Jones. Ticketing.
Elevate Sports Ventures.
No, it's
Legends.
not Elevate.
It's Legends.
It is Legends. Okay. Legends
You're
Hospitality. Right. All right. Good question. Next up. This is from Utpa, longtime listener, constant guest in the instant DMs. I'm a diehard Niner fan. And I still believe in Kyle, but like most people, question is play calling at times. 4th and 1. Should we be running behind all-pro tackles, all-pro tight end, and all-pro fullback with one of the best rookie running backs in the league? Of course not. Let's have Debo run a jet sweep with Trent Williams playing wide receiver and have Juice take the snap and Ayuk do a backflip off to the right. Now there's a play call. What would you call Debo jet sweep, Trent Williams playing receiver, Juice take the snap, and Ayuk doing a backflip split right? Should Kyle look to add a veteran coach to his staff that can check him every once in a while and say, Kyle, what the fuck are you doing here? Seems like Kyle is surrounded by yes men. McVay had Wade Phillips. LaFleur has had Pettin. I think Kubiak or someone in that space. Thoughts? Also, Wally's and Carmichael, great pizza and beers. The size of your head, same owner that has Base Camp Pizza in South Shore. Keep up the great work. P.S.
I've been there.
Please stop John from betting on the Niners. His takes get spicy when he wins or loses money on them. We've had good success betting on the Niners. Well, I mean, hiring a coach that tells you no every once in a while is dependent on you listening to them. Like, you notice what happened with McVay and Wade Phillips. Wade's gone.
Listen, I've only worked for 2 head coaches. The reality is they're the boss. They were both offensive guys technically, but like there wasn't anyone telling Pat Hill or Andy Reid, in my experience, what to do. Now, those guys were, at the time I was around them, Pat was probably in his they were both in their mid-50s. But still, I mean, part of being the head coach is like, hell, even Joe Judge, like you're the boss. That's the way the hierarchy sets up. They name you the head coach for a reason. Obviously, you take in input, right? If you and me hire 5 people, we can listen or whatever, but it's still fucking our decision. Because ultimately, whether it works or not, you don't be like, well, the quality control guy gave me that idea. I implement it. Fuck little Jimmy down the hall, right? You got to wear it. Yeah. That's why a lot of head coaches go, well, I'm ultimately going to go down doing my way because I'm getting the criticism or the credit no matter what. But definitely the criticism.
Charles up next. He says, hey, guys, huge fan. Got into the podcast in 2020 with all the Herbert content. Where's all the Herbert love this year? Stay thirsty, my friends. God, I love talking about Herbert. I love watching Herbert. We're recording this before Thursday Night Football, but if you're listening to this afterwards, holy smokes, John, did you see that throw from Herbert?
I know. I'm already timing. I refuse to go DoorDash or Grubhub. We'll be off in about 5-10 minutes. I'm going to go and pick up my food.
All right, next up, Mr. Temptation. Question, fellas. This is Delta 49er What's the number one position the Niners must attack in the offseason heading into the 22 season? Thanks.
Corner.
Is it not corner?
No, it's not.
Could it be anything?
To me, it's defensive line, because the better your defensive line is, you can figure it out with.
But their defensive line is good. They've done a good job on their defensive line. They do a good job.
Keep doubling down on it, and offensive line. You can never be good enough in the trenches.
Just the first order of business is Tom Compton's extension, and then everything else from that. All right, Jay Young says, solid pod, even for a Hawks fan. I've been listening on and off for a few years. I feel like it's a laid-back kind of blue-collar feel, which I like. Definitely Niners heavy, but it opens up, especially when the Niners are struggling, which is basically every other week. My question for the pod is, could all 4 NFC teams make the playoffs if Seattle wins out? I get it, long shot given they play the Rams and Cards, but it's 4 games. Doable for them if they get hot. Also, the teams in front of them, Washington, Vikings, Saints, Eagles, all have tough schedules moving forward and are not likely to get to 9 wins, which would be the number for Seattle. So could did he say if they went out? Yeah, if they went out. Could they make the playoffs if they went out? Yeah, they could.
I told you off before we went on the podcast that I kind of like Seattle this weekend plus 5.5 against the Rams. If they win that game, they're going to be 8-8. Well, feels like this Seattle team could lose to the Lions. Like all of a sudden they have a chance to make the playoffs and they lose to the Lions. That feels very like Seattle this season.
I don't think the Lions are good enough to even get Seattle's, because Seattle often will give you their D shot, but then still win the game.
Well, then if they win this game, are they beating the Bears and the Lions? Like, could the Bears beat them then? Because what the hell's the difference in the Bears right now and the Lions?
Great point.
Like
I mean,
they'd be 8-8. Final game against Arizona.
I don't think they'll lose those games, but I also don't think they're going to pull that off. Do you?
Or are they going to drop it if they win this weekend?
I don't know. Does Russ have to throw one of those games to make sure he doesn't get kept?
It's weird. I think him and Rodgers just feel they can do whatever they want so they can win and still demand a trade.
Maybe. The dude says, you guys keep it real. Make sure to listen after every game Sunday. Now I'm watching live on YouTube 3 times a week. Are you too confident in your Christmas gift? Here's the question. Are you too confident in your Christmas gift purchasing this year?
Well, you're dealing with a couple members, one of the tribe and another adopted guy. So we already had Hanukkah. How many gifts did you get during
adopted
Hanukkah?
Jew.
Adopted Jew, yeah.
Yeah. How many gifts did I buy for Hanukkah?
Yeah.
Got to tell you, Hanukkah snuck up on me this year.
Christmas snuck up on me too. I've purchased 2 gifts.
Are you ever confident? Are you confident in those 2 gifts?
I gave an elite gift last year. That's about as good as I can do. When I put my mind to it, I can do it. But it takes some effort.
I mean, to me, probably the most fun gift to give is like the nephew, like the 4-year-old nephew gift.
Yeah. My guy's a little too young to even know what the fuck's going on, but you feel obligated by the other family to get him the gift, even though it's like he doesn't even remember this.
Maybe 6-year-old nephew. Not your kid, not your problem if the drum set you gave him makes too much noise.
Well, you can
get an elite kid gift for like $125.
I found a Tonka truck, but it's like a tractor.
Sit on it.
It's like $300. Ordered from Amazon. Now you got to put it together. It goes like 5 miles an hour. But I just handed the box to my brother. I mean, it probably takes a couple hours to put together. Last time I was there, he had it in the garage, still in the box.
What?
Now
the kid give it again this year.
He's probably not. He's probably still a year away from driving it. So I was ahead of the curve.
All right, here we go. 3 questions. How do you think the NFL coaches' salaries will shake out with college football coaches getting paid, with NFL coaches going to their owners and demand more money? How much more do you think the NFL coaches will clear annually? Can you all give me your votes for NFL MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year? We're going to skip that one. Death taxes and Middlekauff fading Cliff. Does he need a playoff run to earn your respect? You only talk about Cliff like he's a bottom 5 coach when over half the league has it way worse. As a Cowboy fan, I would kill for Cliff. I didn't mention this on Thursday's podcast, but I'll say it here because I looked it up. When John Gruden signed his 10-year, $100 million contract, it was January of 2018. Less than 1 year later, April of 2019, Dabo signed a 10-year, $93 million contract. Everyone was so blown away by Gruden's contract, but people have been blown away by college contracts this year, but coaches have been making, feels like, more money in college at least publicly, longer than NFL coaches have been making 8, 9 million. It's been happening, but we don't really talk about
NFL's
NFL.
NFL's not as public though.
And also their players there are players on their team making 25 million, so we don't really talk about them. They are the stars of the program in college. So yeah,
It's like Sean Payton just walks into the building like, we're all rich, right? Like we got money. And Dabo's like, well, I'm the rich guy. I remember going to Arizona State when I saw a bad article about the guy, the dude at Hawaii. What's his name? Todd Graham.
Yeah,
Todd Graham.
They all hate him.
Is that he had like a $200,000, fully loaded Mercedes, and then a bunch of people had normal cars, but like that was his car, and it just felt like you go into an NFL parking lot, everyone's driving Mercedes, right? It's like
or better.
Yeah.
Cliff, when are you giving Cliff his flowers yet, or are you still fading Cliff?
Well, tell me this. Let's end on this.
We got one more, but
if Kingsbury plays the 49ers in the first round, the 6-3 matchup, and Kyle beats them, but they host a playoff game, but they lose in the first round.
Yeah.
It obviously is a successful season because they made the playoffs and, let's say, won the NFC West. But would that feel like a failure for Arizona?
Yeah, because how many games are they going to win?
Minimum 12. 13?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to feel
Can't be losing the first round of the playoffs.
Like it's going to feel, especially because if it was like a divisional opponent that you felt like, well, they're kind of down this year. All right, now the last one. Gucci from New York says, love watching your show, guys. All the way from Nebraska. Sorry, Gucci from NE. I said New York, Nebraska. Love watching in Nebraska. Quick question. What do you think of the recent news saying Peter King saying Jimmy G will stay next year? I think it's all smoke, but wanted your opinion on it. This is from December 14th. Did Peter King say Jimmy G is staying next year?
No, he just said he could. It's one of those, like he could see it. It's not set in stone. It's one of those that no one pushes Jimmy G's value higher than the 49ers through Peter King. And it's not a dumb thing to say. If his value keeps improving, we are okay keeping him.
Well, I would believe you if he costs $9 million, but he doesn't. So I'm not buying it.
You don't think there's any chance he comes back?
No, I said a while back, I would not rule it out like 100%. But the one part is like, are you just never going to play Trey Lance? And the Packers would go, yeah.
You see, Kyle said the other day, it's like one of the favorite players he's ever coached is Jimmy. I don't know if that's a lie, but he said that on record.
Well, think about who he's coached. One of his favorite players that he's ever coached. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. I mean, he went to the Super Bowl with him. He's made some great plays for him.
I bet he's pretty impressed, in fairness to Jimmy. Like this season, they trade for the guy, and he just handles it and kind of.
I do not like taking shots at Jimmy. Like, to me, the things I say about Garoppolo are where I think he keeps them from being a Super Bowl champion, especially as a team gets more expensive around him and he's expensive. But I think I watch a lot of his press conferences. I think he handles things really well. I don't think I don't take any joy. Like, we talk about it a lot. It's a great conversation, but I don't think he's just, I mean, you don't hang with Bill.
You see what Ayuk said after the game against the Bengals, that he got in the huddle down in overtime. Like, we're scoring. And he's like, I looked in Jimmy's eyes, like, said, we're going to win. I thought, yeah, we're just going to win. I don't think you can fake that, right?
No, not when you deliver it. You don't hang around. You don't hang in Tom's quarterback room if Tom doesn't respect you. No chance. No.
You think they get a 4th round pick right now if Jimmy just maintains this for $20 million, 4th round pick?
4th round pick, yeah.
If maybe he keeps improving, agree to bump up to a 3rd.
He might need to agree to like an extension / renegotiation, but 3rd, maybe. He's a starting NFL quarterback. So what is the lowest? What's that?
Yeah, would you give a 3rd round pick for a guy that's only going to be on a contract one more year?
Well, but I just mean like, okay, Jimmy, let's pay you 14 this year. Can we redo this and go 2 for 28?
Yeah.
They'll be like, well, I'm going to make 21, so no. And they'll be like, well, we're not going to trade for you, and they're going to have to cut you, and then you get nothing if no one trades for you.
He doesn't have a no-trade clause.
Yeah, but I mean, at some point that expires, I think. But also, who cares? Like, he wants to.
What percent Jimmy Garoppolo on another team next year? Because I would go like 89% right now.
Yeah, I was going to say 90. That might be a little high because, again, let's see what they do here. I think we assume they're not going to go make a deep postseason run, but crazier things have happened.
Who's more likely to be on another team in 2022? Derek Carr or Jimmy Garoppolo?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
Dabo Sweeney's going to extend Derek for a 5-year contract.
Yeah, we're going to love him. Thanks for hanging with us, everybody. To everybody that contributed to the mailbag, thank you. Our participation trophy goes out to each and every one of you.